All right, guys, welcome back. So took the weekend off from making videos, and I just got done unwrapping all of my new magnets and all my new stuff that I just got in the mail. It's almost like Christmas in September right now, and it was really cool that, man, the guys over at the stickeru.com, they do a great job putting all these together and giving me some high-quality stuff here, and we got a couple of new ones on the board here. Just wanted to talk about a couple of the things that happened over the weekend in sprint car racing. Obviously, with the rainouts for High Limit, the rainouts for the Outlaws as well. It kind of was a little bit of a dull weekend, but then that allowed other people to, including myself, to watch some different kind of racing. I don't know about different, but I watch the IRA. I usually don't watch the IRA because most of the time they race on the same weekends that High Limit does and the Outlaws does. But I watched the High Limit race or the IRA race quite a bit this weekend. I watched the BC 39. Was able to catch the Fall Nationals at the Silver Dollar Speedway as well. And so there was definitely a lot of racing to pay attention to. And there were some things that happened that I want to talk about here on the board. And also, I just wanted to use my new magnets a little bit here and kind of show them off a little bit as well. So the first thing on the board, I thought this was a big deal. Scott Boguski getting the win the other night with the IRA at Mississippi Thunder Speedway or Raceway, whatever it is. He was driving Michael Dutcher's 17 GP. I've lost track of how many guys have been in that car here this year. Off the top of my head, we got Kelby Watt, Justin Henderson, Cale Thomas, Justin Peck, I believe, drove it once as well. So there's been a lot of different guys in that car. And I know that Dutch has been trying to find somebody to get in that car and maybe make a run at some kind of full-time tour next year, or at least on a full-time pick-and-choose schedule. I don't know if they're thinking about going on some kind of, Outlaws or High Limit tour. But I know that he has been shopping around and trying to find a driver that he thinks would be really good for that. And I think maybe Scott Boguski could be the answer. He gets in the car for the first time ever, throws the seat in the day of the race, goes out there and, has a really good race between himself and Scott Winters, a couple of other guys, and he comes out on top for the win. It was Dutcher's first win as a car owner when it comes to the wing on top of the car. He was also seventh at Plymouth Dirt Track the next night on Saturday in Wisconsin. It was, as I mentioned, the first winged win for the 17 GP in its history. Very well-known non-wing sprint car team over the last couple of years. But unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a tough run here for them recently with the wing on. But it looks like, maybe Boguski could be the guy. I got 2025 question mark on the board here. Scott Boguski has ran a full-time tour on the ASCS a couple of times. And so he has been able to travel before. He's been in that grind before, so he knows what it's like. So maybe that could be the guy. I mean, he got a win. He's traveled before. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out for Scott Boguski and the 17 GP car. Now, with the cancellation for Florence Speedway on Saturday and tomorrow night's race at Atomic Raceway, or Speedway, I should say, Brad Sweet has clinched the High Limit Racing Championship. Now, I just keep seeing all these people on Twitter and Facebook saying that this is the dumbest thing ever. The owner of the series wins the championship. Everybody knew it was going to happen, yada, yada, yada. What? I don't know. What do you want to happen? I mean, Brad Sweet, if he was on the Outlaw Tour, we have to make a video about this. Would he have, with the numbers he's got this year, would he have been close to David Gravel in that championship? My bet is yes. More than likely, if Brad Sweet stayed on the Outlaw Tour, him and David Gravel would have had a great battle for that championship. Would Gravel have won it? Who knows? Because Brad Sweet's still one of the best, if not the best points racer in the entire world right now when it comes to dirt racing. And so it's hard. I don't get it, man. He's been the best points racer for the last 5 years in a row. I don't know why people aren't surprised that he won the High Limit Racing Championship. I know there's probably going to be some people in the comments on this video saying that it's absolutely rigged. It's a joke. The guy that owns the series is the champion. I mean, he's the best right now. He's the best driver overall in the country right now, the most consistent. Every track he goes to, he's always in the mix. And so it's hard to deny greatness. And, first ballot Hall of Famer for Brad Sweet. He has now won 6 straight National Touring Sprint Car Championships. And so, congrats to him. He's still got 4 more races on the year. We've got I-70, Lucas Oil, and 2 nights at Texas as well. The race for second is still a pretty good one between Rico Abreu and Tyler Courtney in that championship. We'll see who comes out on top in that battle. Also, Aaron Reutzel, a winner this weekend at the 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa during the Sprint Invaders race. That one was worth $5,000. It was the 14th win of the season for Aaron Reutzel, his 10th in the 360. So 10 360 wins, 4 in the 410, and the most, I guess what would you say, the most special win in the 410, obviously that prelim night, the Tuscarora 50 against High Limit. Now, what are the 2025 plans for Aaron Reutzel? There has been a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors that he could be taking over the 8 car for Corey Eliason on the High Limit Racing Tour. Nothing has been set in stone on that here recently. But if Reutzel continues to win and win at a clip of 14 races already this year, I know a lot of them are in the 360, but still, then I feel like it's going to be hard to say that the Ridge and Sun Racing team is not going to want him to go on some kind of tour next year. More than likely High Limit, because they've already got that 8 car up there at least decently in the Owners' Championship. So we'll wait and see what happens with Aaron Reutzel, but he continues to be very, very fast right now in that 87 car. Now, back to the IRA, Scotty Thiel was the winner at the Plymouth Dirt Track on Saturday, and he was able to clinch the championship, his first championship with the IRA Series. He had finished second in the championship 3 different times, and you could probably imagine most of those came against Bill Baylog when he was dominating the IRA there for about 10 years' time. This year, Scotty Thiel, 4 wins, 12 top 5s, 18 top 10s in 26 starts. I believe behind him in the championship, Jake Blackhurst. It was Jake Blackhurst. Sorry, my dyslexia likes to kick in every now and again. But congrats to Scotty Thiel on that championship. It's been a long time coming for him with that series. Now, I am curious to see what Scotty does next year, because I feel like in years past, I have heard rumors of him, asking about the benefits and the tow package and all that stuff when I was on the Outlaw Tour. And so maybe Scotty Thiel is thinking about doing something like that. I know I've already said that for 3 of the 4 guys on the board, but I mean, it's just a crazy time right now to be in sprint car racing. There's a lot of money going around, and there's a lot of guys interested in being a part of all that money and all the hype around the Outlaws and High Limit. I think it's a great time to be a sprint car fan, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this video can agree with that. Now, another thing on the board is Justin Sanders. Now, I know he was not driving the 2X. I don't have the 4SA Magnet. I probably will never get that one because it's a 360 team. But Justin Sanders sweeps the tribute to Stephen Allard at the Silver Dollar Speedway. But what is cool is he was driving the 4SA. The SA on the car does stand for Stephen Allard. So Dale Miller's car, Justin Sanders has been driving that thing for the last couple of years, and he has been a dominant force when it comes to the Sprint Car Challenge Tour out there, a 360 touring series in California. And Sanders continues to have a great year. His 13th win of the season, his 8th in the 360, a lot of 410 wins in the NARC King of the West series, and he's been really close as well with High Limit and the Outlaws here this year as well. So congrats to Justin Sanders on that win. Very cool to see the 4SA car getting the win during the Stephen Allard tribute there at Silver Dollar Speedway. I believe that was a win worth $5,000 for Justin Sanders, and he continues to be probably the guy to beat every week in California. Now, Brian Brown, he is on the board as well. He got his first win since that appendectomy surgery earlier this year, and his second of the season at the I-70 Speedway with Power Eye last weekend on Saturday night. That was I think there was 16, 17 cars in attendance there. And I wanted to mention this as well because I found it quite interesting. Now, obviously, Brownie was sidelined for about 2 weeks due to that surgery, but for the rest of the season, he's been racing and traveling a lot more than usual, and it does show. With just those 2 wins on the year, that is the least amount of wins he's had in a season since 2015. He had 3 wins that year. Obviously, there's still some more time left in the season for him to get a couple more victories. But with all the traveling he's been doing this year, that win total has definitely went down a little bit. Over the last couple of years, I would say his average amount of wins per year in the last 10 years is somewhere around 5, 6, maybe 7. He usually wins about 6 or 7 races per year. Unfortunately, so far for him this year, just 2, but that does, attribute to the fact that he's been doing a lot more traveling this year and not been racing exclusively at the Knoxville Raceway. But Brian Brown will certainly be a factor when it comes to I-70 in a couple weeks here for High Limit. I think he could also be good if he goes to Texas, along with a couple other racetracks that we go to as well. So congrats to Brian Brown on that victory. Now, also at I-70, it was Danny Sams making his first start in the 2KS car for TKS Motorsports. He finished up in the 7th position in that race. He started 9th, and he is set to finish the rest of the High Limit Racing season driving this car. But in the article, in the press release, it says they're going to I-70 on Tuesday, and then they're going to Texas Motor Speedway Friday and Saturday. So are they not going to Lucas Oil Speedway the day after I-70? I'm guessing that was a typo in the article. I'm guessing they're going to be at all 4 races for the rest of the year with High Limit Racing. And so cool to see Danny Sams have a decent run, and we hope to see him have some more success in that car. And then we'll see what happens for 2025. like I said in the video last week, I do not anticipate that team to be with that driver at the end of this season because Sams does have some other aspirations to be driving at a higher level. So we'll see what happens. But Danny Sams, a solid start to his little tenure there in the 2KS car. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know how many people will care about this, but I found it very, very interesting. PA Micro Sprint racer Steven Snyder Jr. from Rising Sun, Pennsylvania. You may have heard his name if you watch the Chili Bowl or if you watch micro racing, obviously. But he won that Keith Kunz Motorsports Give Back Challenge race a couple years ago. Got a ride with Keith Kunz for the Chili Bowl, and he was actually pretty good. But look at this. On Saturday night, he won the Mark Hagopian Memorial at the Plaza Park Raceway in Visalia, California. It was a $10,000 score. That is the 7th race of this season where he has won more than $10,000 in a race. One of them paid $12,500, and another one paid $7,500. So if you do the math from just his winnings, the races that he's won, he has made over $80,000 this year racing a micro. So I think somebody needs to give this kid a look at a sprint car. He does have a couple of starts. I mean, under 10 starts this, in his entire career when it comes to sprint car racing. But I think a guy that is dominating like this in the micro scene should certainly get a look from somebody in the PA area or whatever. Give this guy a shot. $80,000 in earnings in a micro. If you put that up against the sprint car earnings, he's got to be somewhere in the 40, maybe like 50th range on the entire list of sprint car earnings, and he's done it in a micro. So I thought that was quite interesting. Nice job by Steven Snyder Jr. this year in that micro, and hopefully somebody recognizes that and gives him some kind of shot in a sprint car. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoy the magnets on the board. I think I'm going to do a members-only video coming up here and just showing all the new magnets that we got and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment down below and make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll talk to you again here soon.